Hey everyone, this is just going to be a foundation routine today. This is just something that I've been doing lately. I've been mixing it up a little bit and trying all kinds of different things, but this is just one of the routines that I've been trying. I'm going to get started with my favorite foundation, which is, first of all, my skin's clean. I have no makeup on. What I used this morning was this Boots number 7 Protect and Perfect Intense serum stuff. I just got this a couple of days ago, so I'm trying it out. And for moisturizer on top of the serum, I used this Core's Curatin, I don't know how you say that. It's this stuff here. And I got a sample of this at Sephora. This is the sample size. Really like this stuff, so I picked up a big bottle, and I also picked up the primer and the oil-free lotion. Out of the three, this is my favorite. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my Guerlain Pure Extreme Foundation. This one here, it's my all-time favorite, and the color is number 3. I have this little dish here because I'm going to do a little bit of mixing. I'm going to mix a drop of the Hyper Real foundation, and this is in Bronze FX. And this I got from the Mac Pro website, and if you can see that, it's really luminous. So I'm going to put a couple of pumps on my little thing here of my Guerlain, and then I'm just going to add a tiny little bit of this. And oops, if I can get this pump going here. This is one of my favorite things to do lately, is if I like a certain aspect of one foundation and a certain aspect of another, then I'll mix them up a little bit and see what I can come up with on my own. So, okay, so I just put a little tiny bit of that in there. And you can mix this with the spatula. I have this little spatula here, or you can, if you're just doing it on your own, you could use your fingers. So I'm just going to mix it up like that. Okay, so that's ready to go. And I'm going to be using my Louise Young large foundation brush. If you go to their website, be careful that you don't order this one instead. That was a mistake that I made. I had looked through all of the brushes, and this was the biggest foundation brush that I saw in the foundation section, and then it was continuing on to eye brushes, so I thought, well, it must be this one. But when it arrived, I thought, that doesn't look quite right. This is the brush that I originally got, and if you can see, it's kind of a flat one. This is the one that I had wanted, and I believe that this is a LY32 and this is an LY34. So if you're on the website, go past the eye brushes, and then this one's on there. And I love this brush. I thought that I had found the all-time ultimate foundation brush with the Sephora 55, but and that's it comparatively. So I don't know if you can see, the Louise Young is a little bit bigger. Yeah, so I really like this because I can get my foundation on really quickly, and it blends really well. Okay, so continuing on, I have my foundation on the dish. If I want to apply it a little more heavily, what I will do is use my fingers. Well, I'll just do a little bit both ways here. So I'll use my fingers and put some on my face first and kind of rub it in. Blend it, for the most part, and then use my brush just to smooth it all out. And if I want a little bit lighter coverage, then I'll just dip the brush directly into the foundation and put it on that way. So, use this all over. And the Guerlain Pure Extreme is a long-lasting foundation, and it's fairly matte. I like those things about it, but I also wanted to add just a little bit of luminosity. That's why I added the Hyper Real in with it. And I believe you used to be able to get the Hyper Real in different colors as well, but I'm not sure that they make it in those anymore. You could use something else too, just something with a little sheen. It doesn't have to be these products, just use what you have at home. But I think you'll find if you mix up a few of your favorite foundations, you'll come up with something that you like even better than just the foundations on their own. At least I have been. See how quickly this brush gets everything on? And it was so well blended. You can see that? Okay. On my lips too, and my eyelids. Under my eyes. Trying not to get the brush in your eye. Okay. So that was my first step. Now I'm going to move on to concealer, and I'm still using the Maybelline Dream Matte Mousse. I find that this gives me better coverage than some of my other ones. And I like to apply it with my finger. A little bit on each side. And my darkness under my eyes is getting a little bit better. I've been using Lilash. I know that some other people are having the same issue. You get a little bit of dark, like kind of a dark area right under your eye. So I've stopped using Lilash and now I'm using Revitalash, I think it's called. And I'm not getting as, oh, it never fails. I don't get as good of results with the Revitalash for sure as I got with the Lilash as far as lash growth is concerned, but it also doesn't have the side effect of the darkness under your eye. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to use my Scott Barnes concealer brush and just get right up under the lashes there. Okay, so that's that part. Now I'm going to move on to, I'm going to be using my Laura Mercier mineral powder. I know there's been a lot of ladies talking about this. It's the loose one. And before I put that on, what I'm going to do is use the, excuse me guys, this is the mineral primer for Laura Mercier, and it's just a white powder. And it kind of reminds me of the Makeup Forever High Def and the MAC Prep and Prime. And I think the reasoning behind this powder is if you're to use it on bare skin, you get like a powder coverage so that when you go to put your powder foundation on, it doesn't go blotchy in certain areas, like grabbing onto any more moist areas. So what I'm going to do here, I could do this on its own just with the mineral primer and then the foundation, but I'm going for a little bit more coverage today, so I'm going to be using my foundation and the mineral powder. So I'm going to go ahead and use this primer on top of this foundation. It's going to act like a setting powder for this and also a base for the mineral powder. And I'm going to be using a little bit bigger of a brush because I want to just kind of get it on really lightly and get a good base down. I don't want to buff this really into the skin. So there's the lid, tap it off, and this kind of, it feels fairly heavy, like it drops down when you tap it. It doesn't kind of go airborne, so a good base of this all over. And even though it looks white in the container, it doesn't look white on your face, so that's a bonus. Okay, so now I have that all over, and I'm going to switch brushes now. I'm going to be going to this, oh, the brush that I was using was the Laura Mercier brush that came with my mineral kit. I bought this as a little kit and it came with a highlighter, concealer, brushes, the mineral powder itself. Now I'm switching to the Sephora Professional Mineral Powder Brush, which is number 45, and it's a little bit smaller. This was the one I was using for the primer, and then this is the one I'm going to now. So it's smaller, more dense, so I'm going to be using this to buff that right in to the skin and get some coverage out of it. If you didn't want as heavy of coverage out of this powder, I would use a bigger, fluffier brush rather than a smaller, denser brush. With the smaller, denser brush, you're going to get heavier coverage. Okay, so I'm going to tap that in there, and you don't need a lot of this. And just go ahead and start. I'm going to try to give you guys a little bit of a close-up here so you can see how much coverage you can get out of this. I don't know if you can see. Okay, so You can see right here I've got a little bit of freckling, so put that on. You see it covers fairly well. And you can build that too. You can go right over top of it again and again, and then buff it in, and you do get really good coverage out of it. So, okay, let's back it up a bit. Okay, so then I'm just gonna go over the rest of my face with this. Under eyes everywhere, down your neck a little bit. It doesn't take much of this powder to get good coverage. If I wasn't wanting heavier coverage, like I was saying, I would just use this powder on its own over top of the mineral powder, the primer, sorry. You don't need the mineral primer, but if you're going to use it alone on bare skin, again, I would use a bigger, fluffier brush to put down one layer first, just to absorb any just so you don't have any moist areas on your face before you start buffing the mineral powder in. Okay, so that's that. And I'll go on to the contouring. I always do a little bit of contouring. It just takes me 2 seconds. And I'm going to be using MAC Tan Tone, and this is my 109 brush. This Tan Tone's discontinued. If anybody knows, if they've seen it at a CCO or anything, let me know, because I've hit pan. Okay, so I'm taking my 109 and I'm just going to be going under my cheekbones here. Circular motion, like that. And when I dip it in the powder, I usually kind of dip it on my hand first too, just so I don't get a really heavy streak going there. And so I do the cheekbones, I do under my jawline, blend it down a little bit. Temples. And I also use my Smashbox, it says blending brush. It's just this little guy here. And I use that to contour my nose just slightly. Hope you can see here. So nothing too precise, just a little bit of, and then I can take my 109 and blend that in a little bit. Okay, and that's it. I'm ready to start with the rest of my makeup, and yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.